That's maybe very interesting perhaps. And for example, very appropriate and safe and sound, we're family members, FMs, and family and friends. For example, family and friends, FAFs, and family and friends, FAFs, and very important resources, monies, currencies, oftentimes very comparable, alternative substitutes, different alternatives and substitutes, and very appropriate and safe and sound, excellent, fine, and good about 100% of the time, so to speak of stuff. Very important resources, monies, and currencies, different acting stages, acting studios, and different news articles, and news and books and literature around the world, around the universe, and a lot of entertainment resources, and sort of all over the place, but not quite all over the place, not quite a lot of multifaceted and complex, and very important resources, monies, currencies, resources, and the so-called chalice and linchpin, different books that are writing jokes, the so-called chalice and linchpin, the so-called wizards of chalice and linchpins, so-called wizards of chalice and linchpins, very entertaining and entertainment resources, for example. Different articles, books that are writing jokes, for example, about mechanical robotic dogs and lions and birds and insects and bugs, so-called birds and mechanical robotic so-called dogs and cats and lions and birds and insects, for example, and different acting stages and acting props, for example, fake or a lot of entertainment resources, computer animation, special effects, computer animation, CA, special effects, SC, and special effects, SC, and computer animation, CA, and different acting stages, acting props, different so-called, fake so-called, for example, fake so-called dust or grime or mildew or dirt or so-called fake or acting stages, acting studios about different like grime or dirt or dust or paint or mechanical robotic dogs and lions and birds and fish and insects and bugs, for instance, so-called and fake so-called mildew or grime or dust or dirt or different paint or acting stages, computer animation, special effects, a lot of entertainment resources, very excellent, fine and good about 100% of the time, and very appropriate and safe and sound about 100% of the time. A lot of interesting news and books and literature writings from around the world, around the universes, so wizards, the chalice, and linchpins, wizards, the chalice, and linchpins, and places are very entertaining, oftentimes around the world. WORLDS, WORLD, or WRLD, or WRLDS, or globe, or globes, GLOBS, or GLOB, or universes, UNIVRSS, or UNIVRSC, or UNIVRSC, or world, or worlds, WRLD, or WRLDS, world, or worlds. And 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 3 equals 5, 5 plus 1 equals 6, 6 multiplied or times 6 multiplied times by 3 equals 18. 18 times multiplied by 2 equals 36. 36 minus 1 equals 35. 35 minus 1 equals 34. 34 minus 2 equals 32. And for instance, we're family members, FMs, and family and friends. Very appropriate and safe and sound. Very appropriate and safe and sound. And we're family members, FMs, and family and friends. For example, for instance, and so-called, and excellent, fine, and good about 100% of the time. Excellent, fine, and good about 100% of the time, so to speak myself. And we're family members, FMs, and family and friends. Of course, we're family members, FMs, and family and friends. For example.